Hey, Service Nation! I am so excited to talk to you about today's topic. If you've been following since the beginning, we just started this broadcast a couple days ago. We've been going through the core values, kind of the meaty part of who you need to be and what you need to believe, and all the good stuff when it comes to growing a cleaning business or a service business. We are transitioning or adding service business to our cleaning. We've been coaching owners of cleaning service businesses forever. Now we're taking on all new service businesses because we want to make a massive impact in the world. Anyway, today I'm so excited because we're finally, I shouldn't say finally, but we're talking about make money. That's one of our core values, and we're going to kind of get into more specifics in terms of exactly what you need to grow. So in addition to what we need to believe, which is so important, what we've been focusing on because it's foundational, we're going to talk about specific things you need to do to grow your cleaning company. So that said, if you are digging the show and you love it and you want more, we are just starting this because we believe that the community out there is working too hard. They're not getting the results. They're stuck at certain income levels. They're not being able to serve as many people as they want in terms of customers and employees. And we just need to know if that's the case, right? We're spending a lot of time and money preparing this brand and trying to serve this community. As of now, we don't even have anything for sale. We just want to help. But we need to know that this is something you guys want. So if you're digging the show, you're digging the vibe, you're getting value, subscribe, rate, and review to our iTunes. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Go to Grow My Cleaning Company or growmyservicecompany.com to get all the data on. Again, right now we don't have anything for sale. Just like I think my book's coming out, all the good stuff, all the information that we've got to help you grow your service company. If you're digging us, just let us know so we can continue doing it. And if we don't hear from you, if it's crickets, well, no, nobody cares. So hopefully we'll hear from you. Let's dive into getting you how to make more money. So for the first, and tell me if any of you guys are like, oh my gosh, this is me. For the first years of my business, I had a lot of weird head trash in my mind, and I would judge what a lot of money was. And I judged what was a fair price and not a fair price, and what people would be angry with or not be angry with. And I hate to say it because it's really embarrassing, but the truth is this was all based on emotion. This wasn't a numbers kind of thing, like this is what's fair, this is whatever. Just like I felt like this is too much or not enough, and I did it a lot by emotion, which I found so many owners of service companies do. The problem is, if I did look at the numbers and kind of got real with what it would take to actually provide amazing services and take care of my customers and actually make a buck, God forbid, I knew I had to raise my prices. And I was like, oh, if I raise my prices, all my customers are going to quit. I'll go to hell. I'll be spurned by my community. There's all this emotional crap that I think service owners have in raising prices. Like we can't do it or charging properly. And again, please don't hear me saying I'm just coaching you to arbitrarily raise prices, but to really understand what your numbers look like and what you need to charge to be able to get the work done, have money for overhead, marketing, client attraction, insurance, offices, all the vans, all the good stuff that you guys know you need, and still make a fair profit, right? So a lot of people don't know the numbers, so they go by emotion. And it was frustrating because I desperately wanted to be successful, and I worked so daggum hard. But I made this weird connection that I tied being successful to charging my customers as little as possible, or like, the customers have kind of sold me on winning a bid, right? The way I win a bid is I give the right price. But, we'll talk about it coming up. You only win a winning bid, right? It's better to win a loser than lose a winner, right? It's better to walk away from a deal that you're not going to make any money at, lose a winner accidentally, than win a loser where you bid too little and you don't make any money. So I just had a lot of mental stuff. And I told myself like, oh, this is good business sense, right? If I charge less, I'll get more customers. I'll have happier customers. I told myself a bunch of things that frankly weren't true about charging. And that was kind of the external, what I told myself in terms of why I made these decisions. But the reality is, and again, looking back and after coaching, thousands of owners of cleaning companies and service companies, you get some clarity that it was really about fear and self-valuation, right? I hate to say it, it was me feeling like I wasn't worth enough. I couldn't charge enough. I'm just, it was really about what I believed in myself and the value that I brought to the world, which is the problem. And that's honestly, you guys probably know, that's not a fun conversation to have with yourself, but it's a conversation I needed to have. So I tried everything but, right? Because I wasn't willing to make that shift of I can bring value to the world and charge more. I tried outselling it, right? Like, well, I'm not making that much money each, but I'll make it up in volume, right? Like I'm not making money now, but if I double in sales, then I'll make money, which is a fool's errand, because then you don't have, when you try and just sell more and you don't have any margins, you don't have money for advertising, right? So, or growing your business, or then, well, I'll just cut costs, right? I'll see if I can make my business run more efficiently, see if I can negotiate harder with suppliers. But then I'm lowering my own value even more, right? Because I'm telling my people to do quicker and suppliers to go cheaper. And that's not where you get the best out of people, vendors, suppliers, employees, when you're like, go quicker, save a nickel, right? So what happened is, by trying to cut costs, I actually cut the value I was bringing to my people. And then my real problem was, I was afraid I couldn't bring enough value to the world to charge enough. So then I'd cut my value. It was a terrible cycle. And then so the only thing I did is I'll just work harder, right? I can work my way out of it. And that's fine for a minute, but it's not scalable, right? And that's how owners of service companies get burnt the heck out. So it was really frustrating to feel like I was doing everything right. I was serving my customers, providing a great, they all loved me. They were real happy with the prices, of course. I'm working my tail off. And I just felt like I was going in circles. Like I was doing everything right in my mind, but I was still struggling to make payroll or grow. And not that I wasn't growing, but it was just a lot of effort. So that left me always looking at other businesses, right? Like maybe the grass is greener on the other side. I was always thinking there's a better opportunity somewhere else, just because I didn't know how to charge my own customers, right? It wasn't the other businesses were better. It's they just knew how to charge their customers, right? I started realizing that I wasn't just cheating myself, because that's the other lie we tell ourselves is, well, if I just want to do this for nickel, I'll figure it out. It's okay, it's just for me. But the reality is, and why I was willing to cheat myself, I can't tell you. Again, the self-value of and it's not like I had this weird, like low like I suck, I'm no good. It wasn't that. It's just I didn't have enough confidence to say I can charge as much, or heaven forbid more than the other guy, because I can bring a better experience in life, right? So I started realizing I wasn't just cheating myself, which somehow I'd been okay with, but it also affected my ability to take care of my customers, right? When I'm not charging enough, I can't provide surprise and delight or kick butt services or do anything above. Oftentimes we don't charge enough. We can't even do what we agreed to do, never mind surprise and delight. And then even worse, I couldn't take care of my employees in terms of the benefits that they wanted and surprising and delighting them. So there's just no money left over for anybody. So as a service company, when we kind of go, oh, we won't charge enough, or we'll make, this is a big customer, we'll give them a discount, or whatever the case may be, we kind of make a deal with ourselves subconsciously, like, well, we'll just take less, and we kind of martyr, like, oh, we'll suffer. But the problem is, we're making a deal for our customers and our employees, right? Disneyland ain't cheap, right? It's like the most expensive place, and they call it the happiest place on earth. Maybe it's also probably the most expensive place on earth, right? Where else could you spend $18 to get a Coke or something after you pay $100 some to get in? But again, we all love Disneyland because it's not about the money, it's about the experience, right? And if they bargain basement tickets are $29.95 and you get a jumbo Coke for 99 cents, you're not going to get the experience, right? So I started realizing that when I cheated myself, or what I thought I was just cheating myself on price, I was really cheating my customers out of an experience, my employees out of an experience. And then when that starts happening, now I got to go lower in price because I'm providing less value. So it's a nasty little circle. That is when I started to realize that understanding my numbers and charging the right amount, right? So please don't hear me just go randomly raise price on everybody. I mean, you could just make sure you get more value, but just understanding what it really takes to make a business work in terms of my real cost of goods sold, what it costs to provide the service and product. Some of us service businesses have product, HVAC, right? It's not just service, there's also a product. We did construction, we had to manufacture the product and we installed it. My real cost of goods sold, overhead. A lot of people like kind of dismiss overhead like it's not real money, but it's real money, kids. Insurance checks really do have to clear, right? There really is office expense. And then profit was always like, it was always, if I have more revenue, I'll make more profit, as opposed to looking at my profit percentage. So that's when I started realizing that understanding and pricing and charging the right amount was a must, not a should. And that was a big change in my mindset. And that's where I'm trying to bring you guys with me. And again, even for that guy's been with me for 20 years and I've never raised prices, or old Mrs. Smith, she can't afford, or he's a big customer, he'll leave me, or that guy's mean. Yeah, for everybody, right? As soon as we start making excuses like, well, for some people I can charge the right amount, but other people I've got to make some sort of thing. We think we're serving them. Well, he's been with me forever. He should get a cheaper price. Or this guy's, they can't afford it. They don't have any money. We got to give them a cheaper price. I'll tell you, I have in this coaching business, I've got friends that kind of have seen what we've done with business and how our clients are successful. And they're like, hey, Mike, let me take you out to lunch and pick your brains, right? And I used to do it all the time. Like, sure, I'll do that. And I'd coach my tail off for them and try and help them. and didn't charge them. They're my friends. And guess what? None of them ever get results, right? And I coach them as well, or better than I coach my clients who pay a lot of money. We are not the cheap price provider, but the people that pay attention, right? So you got to understand that to really have them have a good experience, they need to pay. I had a car dealership for a while, and the crazy thing is, the people that negotiated the hardest and got the best deal, i.e., they paid the least, were always the most miserable. They never thought they got a good deal. They're always unhappy. Anytime they come back and want anything extra, it's like, dude, we made no money on this thing. There's no money to help. And they were just miserable. The people that just came in and paid a fair price, and we never screwed anyone, but a couple $1,000, whatever, fair pricing for all the work that we'd done to get this car wholesale and make it nice and hold it and finance and all the crap that we offered. A fair price. They were so happy. They enjoyed us. They loved us. And when they came in, they needed a little something. We're like, oh, no problem. We can take care of you. So even don't start making excuses for, well, this customer's old, this customer's big, right? And I realized the thing that kept holding me back was my lack of belief in myself, right? And again, in the privacy of your own brain, that's why I love this medium, right? I don't have to look at you and coach you in front of a group of people. Just think through, is there anywhere in my mind, and it doesn't have to be like I'm worthless and I suck. It doesn't have to be that obvious. Just this underlying belief that I'm not worthy or capable of creating a premium service at a premium price, right? Maybe there's that. That was what was holding me back. And a big part of it was I was looking at what I did was a commodity, not creating an experience, right? Not getting a result for my people. So Disneyland, again, I love using that example because they don't have the best rides, right? There's space, especially if you like roller coaster, like Six Flags. There's lots of places with better roller coasters, maybe better rides, but nobody knows how to create an experience like them, right? So we've got to transform from, we just had someone come out and fix our air conditioning. And the guy was nice. He showed up on time. He was well-spoken. He was in uniform. He was polite. He was kind. Didn't even question him. It happened to be a cheap thing with only $200-300, but I didn't question him on the price. It wouldn't matter if it was an extra $100. He could have come up in a dirty, nasty van that leaked oil in my driveway, not had insurance, made my kid freaked out because he looked crazy, made me feel like he was taking advantage or slimy or he didn't know what he was doing, and half the price would have been too much, right? So we've got to focus on not being our own worst enemies and realizing our goal is not to be cheap or to do anything cheap. It's to create the best experience for people. And that's really what they want, right? And all this brought me to understand that I could take all the work that I did. I could work so hard for an entire year, and all of you service business owners out there know it. You can work so freaking hard. And if you're like me, you have unprofitable years, right? Where you just don't make money for the whole freaking year. God forbid we have loser years. I've done those too. And we work so hard. And then I can have the same amount of work or oftentimes less and be wildly profitable, right? So that revelation kind of helped me move that I've got to, and not only that, that's just the money side. I could also, when we're not making money, we're tending not to create positive impact on employees. There's higher turnover. No one's happy, right? When there's money and we've got money to pay our customers and do a great job for our. So it's funny, not only when you make less money, it's not like, well, I make no money, but at least everyone's happy. Like the sacrifice I give makes my customers, my employees happy. It's the opposite. When there's money for everybody, everybody's happy. When there's no money, everybody's miserable. So for the first time, and just to give you a picture of what this looked like, first when I told you I had a car dealership for a while. When I sold that dealership after just a couple of years, I made good money. We bought the building as just like an afterthought, like we needed a building, bought this building, and we sold it separately from the dealership. And believe it or not, I made about half as much profit on the building as I made on the dealership. So you're like, oh, that's good. You made twice as much, and they're both 7-figure deals, I think. So you're like, wow, but you made twice as much on the dealership. Yeah, but I worked 1,000 times harder on the dealership than I worked on the building, right? The building was an afterthought. And I started realizing, holy crap, how hard I worked had nothing to do. Like, if you did how much I worked on the dealership, I don't know. I probably made a couple $100 an hour most. It might have been $10,000 an hour on the building, right? So I realized, I'm like, why the heck was that? Was it luck? What was it? And I realized how hard I worked had nothing to do with the profit I made or how much money I made. It was the result I got my client, right? So for the building, I got one client, right? I only had one customer. He wanted to have a dealership there as well. And he thought it was a great place. And I gave him the opportunity to have his dream dealership, what he wanted to do. And he was willing to pay a massive price for that. And he was happy as can be to have it. I brought hundreds or maybe thousands. I don't know how many cars we sold, probably thousands, but certainly hundreds of cars, owners, cars, a much smaller result, right? So it was really, and it was so much more work. So we kind of get tied up into what's fair. I work this hard, so I can only make this much. And we think, well, if I only work a little, I should only make a little. But if we work a lot, I should make a lot. But that's not how it works. If you work a little, you'll make a little, if anything. If you work a lot, that doesn't guarantee anything, right? So it's not fair, but that's just the reality. And what that can look like for the service business is you could double in size. Maybe you've got a little $250,000 business and you double to 500,000. And I've done this, by the way, and make the same 50 grand a year, right? You're making, or maybe you make 60, right? So you do double the work, double the revenue, double the employees, double the risk, double the receivables, double all the overhead and headache, and you make the same daggone money. But you'll feel like, oh my gosh, I'm crushing it. We doubled our business. It feels one way, but it's not the truth. The flip side of that is you could stay at the same 250 and go from making 25,000 a month and double your profits to 20% to 50,000 a year in like 30 days just by raising prices. Not a big deal. Just by right pricing your people. And by the way, in the service business, if you just raise your prices 10, 20%, it can double your profit, right? If your profit's only 10% and you raise your prices by 10%, that's a little tiny bit to your customers, but it doubles your profit. Because when you raise prices, your overhead doesn't go up, your cost of goods sold doesn't go up. 100% of that price raise goes right to your profit. So many people spend 1,000 times, just like in my car dealership, working to double their business, and they don't make any extra money. Sometimes they make less, maybe they make a couple extra bucks more. It's the saddest thing I see in the service business. Others, without patting myself on the back too, are the guys and gals we coach with, get to the profitable thing first and then they grow, right? And it's so much easier to double profits on a company making 10% to 20% than it is to take a business making 20% and double the revenue, right? So much easier and more fun, right? It's just way more fun. So the trick, you're like, well, how do I do all this? There's really two pieces. You've got to, know your numbers, right? A lot of people don't know what their numbers should look like in terms of cost of goods sold, overhead, profit, and get the emotion out of there. And that will help you raise your external fear of raising prices. And then to kill your internal fear of, am I good enough? Can I do this? Will everybody quit? Are they going to hate me? To creating a system that brings you in more clients than you can handle. That's the magic. It kills the fear of customers quitting. It kills the fear of maybe I'm not good enough because you got so many people coming in. You start knowing you're good enough. That's the opportunity. So the real opportunity when we talk about pricing, first in the mindset, well, first in understanding what pricing's worth, second in the mindset of knowing what you're worth, first in understanding the numbers that it takes to run your business, make a fair profit, second to understand your own value, and third to create a system that reaches the people that you need, which we call a scalable client attraction system, right? So once you know your numbers, your client attraction cost, and your margin, you have an unlimited marketing budget. Because if you know that it costs me $100 to acquire a customer and my initial profit on that customer is $200 and the lifetime value is $2,000, what's your marketing budget? It's unlimited, right? So many owners of service companies kind of brag on, everything I've done is repeat and referral. I spend the least amount of my budget on marketing. You want to spend the most. The more you can spend to acquire a customer and be profitable, the better. But you got to know your numbers. You got to have good numbers, and then you can really scale this thing. So this is what we teach. This is what has allowed me to scale multiple seven-figure businesses in just a couple of months or years sometimes. And the most important thing is this is going to allow you to take care of your family, your customers, your employees. If you're like most of the service business I've worked with, you've got this clear vision of how amazing your business could be and the impact you could have on your community, but you don't have the financial metrics behind it and the systems to do it, right? So that's the first end. And then internally, it removes the fear. Once you can charge enough and you've got a scalable client attraction system, you lose that fear someone's going to quit because there's always someone down the road, right? Once you know how to scale leads on demand, it's really easy. And just so you guys know, how does that look? What does it look like? Well, first, you can go to growmyservicecompany.com. At this point, as I'm recording this, at some point we'll have ways to help you with that. At this point, it's just like we'll let you know, what's going on and how to help and all that sort of stuff. But if you want to see like, well, how would you do that? I'm doing it right now, right? This is, again, as I'm recording this, we're just starting. We have nothing for sale. We're just giving a lot of value to the industry and asking for goodwill and building a community, right? And then I promise you within 3 months, we're going to have more people coming to us wanting help than we can do. And that's what we teach folks how to do. So That's what I had for you today on making money. If you want our help in the process, go to growmyservicecompany.com. Everything there, you can get notified on my book, the podcast, the YouTube channel, the Facebook group, all the stuff that we offer. Again, if you're digging this and this has been helpful, subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Shoot me an email, Mike at growmyservicecompany.com. As we're small, I'm just going to start giving out my email and let people, as long as I can man it personally, I'll shoot you an email back and say, hey. So that's what I got for you. Please give some feedback. Let us know if we're bringing value to your life and what other topics you'd like to hear, what pains you have, how we can serve you as a community. And appreciate the heck out of each and every one of you. Talk soon.